Yeah. Hey, hi Zane. I'm with
Hey,
Zane Haney, star of UNFIX, uh, movie by Graham Streeter, and it's playing this weekend at the San Francisco Indie Fest. How you doing this morning or this afternoon?
fantastic. We had a little trouble setting up this camera, but I think we're good.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad it finally worked. Yeah. So let's just get right into the film. What is the basic story of the film, and what is your role?
Oh God, if you want to get into the basic story of the film,
I know. Can you
it's a, it's
say
a,
it basically?
it's a very, very convoluted story, but basically it is a man who wakes up when he's 35 and he realizes that his life has been basically a lie and is suffering from major identity shifts due to conversion therapy in his well, when he was much younger. Yeah.
Yeah, and what in so let me ask you this then. How did you get the role and what did you think of it when you first saw the script?
uh I got the role actually through my manager. He sent me the audition, and when I first saw the script, I mean, initially the audition process, I honestly I didn't know what the film was about. I had no idea what it was about because Graham kept it kind of under wraps. Um, but when I first saw the script, I had no idea what conversion therapy was. I didn't know it still existed today, and I I honestly, I absolutely fell in love with everything Graham did with the script, and just that twist and turns
Mhm.
throughout the film. Just amazing to be able to construct that. I think I didn't know what was going on. And I was kind of on the edge of my seat the whole time while I was reading the script.
Yeah.
So no, it was a very intriguing concept, and yeah, it had me do a lot of research and learn a lot about conversion therapy, and obviously dig
Mhm.
into Ari's character a lot.
Yeah. Now was the research you did, was that kind of on your own, or or did Graham kind of encourage you to look things up? It's because it's a world that that I've certainly known about for a very long time, but I think he gets into it deeper than I've ever known that world to be.
That's right. Yeah. No. I have. I mean, I did a lot of research on my own. He didn't. Honestly, I don't think. I mean, he told me to research conversion therapy, but a lot of the research I did was on my own, and spending times reading about early childhood trauma, reading some great psychological books, going into like deep YouTube wormholes that just kind of explore everything with conversion therapy and just everything these characters are going through. And obviously, it was during COVID, and the film takes place in COVID.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of existing through that reality as well. So not a lot of research need to be done there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we talked a little bit before, but I've known Graham for I think almost 5 years now.
Mhm.
I met him through a couple films of his ago, and we just kind of been following. I've been following his career,
Yeah.
and the thing, what I like about Graham is I find him to be probably one of the most indie filmmakers I know, in terms of he does virtually everything by himself,
He does.
him and Alex, and and then when it comes to his, and especially in he kind of dances around the genres, but this is definitely a drama. And then from a writing standpoint, he never approaches a subject straight on, like we see other people do. He has to find some kind of a backdoor way to get into a subject and then write that.
Yeah. No. It's
Yeah,
a
and
very
I think without
different.
giving too much away about this one, he definitely does that. He approaches the subject in a way that I never thought I'd see a filmmaker do.
Mm-hmm. No. It's a talent when a director can do that. Really, you know, to to be able to let the audience feel what's going on in their lives so they could better understand the story themselves. Yeah, instead of just like hitting you over the head with, okay, this is what conversion therapy is and this is why it's bad, but just having somebody go through that in the film and live through those circumstances, and they're real people. And the way that he films it is kind of like fly on the wall, so it does feel like you're watching like a documentary at times.
Yeah, and there's that twist at the end.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about his process then. What was it like working with him on set?
Well, we did a lot of work beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of blocked it out sort of like a play. So we did a ton of rehearsals. And then when we got to actually shooting it, he kind of let us run with it. We didn't do a lot of take. We did probably 3-4 takes at most. I mean, so he just kind of, he let us run with it. We knew what we wanted to do, and it was collaborative, really, too. We would sit around the table and we would talk about each scene. We'd go really, really in depth with everything, which is just like such a privilege to be able to do. You don't get that on a lot of projects. I mean, you don't even get like rehearsals on a lot of projects. So yeah.
So let me ask you, because I hear that a lot in the sense of where a writer director gives you freedom to change things. Was that do you have a story about that, or was that I would imagine if I were in that position, I would be a little hesitant to want to change a writer's work.
I mean, there were some spots. Okay, there were some spots where in the script it was like Ari cries on this line, or Ava cries on this line, or something like that, which we were able to do. But that's always a lot of pressure to be like to be able to be reading the script and like, okay, this is where you bring it out right there, and we were able to do it. But no, I don't think we really. I didn't butt heads about that. I kind of like the director and director, writer, producer to have full control over it in a lot of ways. I mean, maybe some minor dialogue changes, just so it sounded a little bit better in my mouth. But yeah, other than that, no, I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of been my experience of it's not necessarily the words he says, but it's the way your mouth says it, and there's a comfortable feeling in terms
exactly.
of
Yeah. No, that's what it is. I mean, some things, you're like, okay, I wouldn't say that. I may, Ari would say that probably, but yeah, it just, I don't know, it doesn't sound right to me, and it needs to be believable at the end of the day. So
yeah,
I think he was understanding about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I know a little bit about Graham's process, and I guess the question I have for you is, where, because my understanding is this, let's see, not a union project, so you're not a part of SAG, right?
No, SAG eligible.
Yeah, so the question I have is, we have a lot of indie filmmakers, we always have a lot of indie actors, but where are you along your journey, and what was it like to have this project come along the way? I'm making the guesses you want to do bigger and better things.
Of course, of course, yeah. Of course I do. But here's the way that I think about it, honestly. When to be able to get a chance to do a role like that, it would only at this stage in my career is such a huge opportunity. I mean, it's so rich and complex, and to be able to lead a film like this and dive into the psychological aspects of Ari, I don't think I would have that opportunity right away. So yeah, I think it's honestly a huge blessing, and I'm so happy that it came to me when it did, because I've learned so much about myself. I mean, they say, you know, when you spend some time with characters, and I'd spent a lot of time with Ari, they change you a lot, and you get to understand another person's perspective, and that's why I'm doing this in the first place, just because I want to know more about people and their experiences. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a win-win there, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd say as a actor who's trying to get into the union, are there a lot of roles like this, or is this the little needle in the haystack?
No, it's the needle in the haystack completely. No, you don't find roles like this. You don't find roles like this that are non-union roles like this with such talented directors.
Mm-hmm.
You don't find that.
Mm-hmm. So, so you got to thank your manager for that one, then.
Yeah.
Do you know how he or she found the role?
No, I'm not sure.
You're
I
just
think
grateful.
probably on break. Sorry, my sister's in the background here.
No problem. So let me ask you this last question. So I mean, you're along the journey. What piece of advice would you give a friend who says, "Hey, I want to become an actor too"? What piece of advice would you say to kind of get them to where you are today?
Oh, honestly, you have to love it. You have to love it more than anything, because there's a lot of struggle along the way. And persistence, I think, is the most important thing. Like, it's crazy how many times I've gotten jobs where I felt like, no, I don't feel like doing that. Like, I literally don't feel like doing that. Like, I just booked a feature recently, and I was so sick. I had something, I didn't even know, influenza, I think, honestly. I didn't go to the doctor, but I was sick for like 3 weeks. And I pushed myself and I said, okay, you know what, whatever, this is just another way to challenge myself, and ended up booking the role. So it's like I feel like the universe or something tests you in these ways, where it's like, okay, are you really committed to this? Then take the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was to tell a friend who's starting out, you have to love it more than anything,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to be really curious. And from that curiosity, you can really get creative, and you can really make make the world what you want it to be through your
Mm-hmm.
projects.
Yeah, I guess if I were to follow up here, which I will, the audition process then for you. Do you try to? I mean, is there something magical in the sense of you're up against hundreds of others to stand out, or is it just a matter of you were just or is it just a matter of do you have to kind of bring in something different, or is it just a matter of the director and casting director just trying to fit a piece in a puzzle?
That's a good question. I mean, I mean, I think I just like to go from a place of truth and hope that speaks. You know, like, you can try to do different things, and yeah, okay, it's true. When you do an audition, you watch somebody do the same audition over and over again. 95% of the people are going to be doing it the same way, and in the self-tape world, people click that off after 10 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if you go in and you could do the two things, if you can come in doing it different, having the director see it as reimagined, and that goes through like working through the script and being curious and being creative in that kind of way, where you can come up with what's happening in the story, but you can come up with it a different way than anyone's ever seen. I mean, that's kind of the goal. But yeah, I think that's how I try to approach it, from truth and coming up with it into creatively different way. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks so much for talking with me. Let's see. UNFIX is currently still on the film festival circuit, and the next one is going to be San Francisco.
Yeah, and then I think there's First Glance, and there's Golden Gate, which is also at the Chinese Theater, and there's one more. I forgot. There's another one in LA.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's still a lot more.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say, I'd seen it before, but I was at the Dances with Films premiere that night, and that was such a great reception for you in the film.
It was amazing. Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations, and and good luck to you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.